And good evening, folks. Welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show here on Newsmax TV. I don't know about you, but I'm getting tired of being judged by liberal standards. Standards that leftists themselves can't measure up to. When conservatives or everyday folks violate these ever-changing, ever-elusive rules, they get canceled. But when liberals violate these arbitrary and mindless standards, nothing ever happens to them. They don't get their lives ruined. They don't get shunned by the purveyors of the cancerous cancel culture. So if they don't have to follow their own insane rules, why are we busting our butts to do so? Time to tune out socialist hypocrites. That's what we're suggesting in tonight's preamble. Most Americans know that racism is backward, Neanderthal, buffoonish thinking. Indeed, it has become the liberals' favorite pastime, accusing undeserving Americans of being racists. Typically, disagreeing with liberal policies is enough to get you branded a bigot. But how are Democrats, socialists doing when it comes to living up to their own standards? Left-wing educrats who control government education have launched a school curriculum called critical race theory. It is the taxpayer-funded teaching of racism. CRT teaches white kids to hate their heritage and their skin color. It also teaches black and brown kids that it's okay to be racist toward whites. Now, in a fair world, anti-American freaks who run GovEd would be canceled. They'd be driven from government education, never to teach anyone's child again. Because as we all know, racism is wrong. And teaching racism, also wrong. But guess what? None of these administrators who are pushing critical race theory are being fired, sued, or even disciplined for teaching hate. Why? It's because they're left-wingers. They have liberal privilege. Earlier in the week, we told you about Gary O'Connor. He is the Democrats' party chairman in Lamar County, Texas. He called GOP South Carolina Senator Tim Scott an Oreo, black on the outside, white on the inside. The racial slur drew derision from conservatives, Republicans, and anyone who truly opposes racism, except there was no derision from Democrats. After calls for his resignation grew louder, Chairman O'Connor did indeed resign. However, proving that socialist Democrats only give lip service to opposing racism, the Democrat Party of Texas refused to accept his resignation, confident that CNN, MSNBS, and other outlets that laughingly call themselves news organizations would not report the Democrat chairman's overt racism. O'Connor is still chairman today. The biased press successfully covered up Democrat racism, and the Chris Salcedo Show was proven right once again. The home of systemic racism in the United States is the Socialist Democrat Party. Speaking of the mainstream media, their hypocrisy knows no bounds. When conservatives opposed giving the federal government the power to redefine the religious rite of marriage, right as in R-I-T-E, the left wing called us homophobic, deserving of being canceled. But when the left is caught practicing homophobia, nothing ever happens to them. Take joyless Reid. Turns out the MSNBS star in some blog posts in the early 2000s made a good deal of homophobic statements in reference to then Republican Charlie Crist. After initially claiming her blogs were hacked, joyless Reid issued an apology for the homophobic posts. Was Joy Reid canceled? Did Joy Reid pay the price, a price that she had prescribed for so many innocent people who had violated her capricious and arbitrary liberal rules? No. In fact, MSNBS rewarded her homophobia with a one-hour show. And to this day, NBC's parent company tolerates this intolerant woman. Now Miss Reid has graduated from attacking gays to attacking transgendered folks.
Caitlyn Jenner, the Republican candidate for California governor who wants to lead that state, does not speak for the trans community. But she is a longtime Republican who's also a vehement Trump supporter. They don't actually care about fairness in girls' sports. It's about forcing the other to exist in their shadow so that they can continue living in a country where their status is protected against all else. And that is why the GOP selling rage over actual policy is the absolute worst.
There she is attacking another Republican in the same manner that would get anyone else canceled. So what's the point of this entire preamble, my friends? Do I want joyless Reid canceled? No, far from it. Every time this left-wing harpy opens her mouth, she reveals the ignorance, bigotry, and moral depravity of left-wing extremists in the United States. She's the greatest weapon we conservatives have. she and others like her. What I wanted to illustrate tonight was that these so-called woke keepers of the cancel culture have no moral ground to stand on. Their rules are designed to advance anti-American left-wing ideology. All of their grievances, real or imagined, are not designed to help America, or even improve the lot of those who are allegedly being given the short end of the stick. Everything these morally bereft people do is to advance their sick and twisted worldview, a worldview of servitude, a worldview of loss of your rights, a worldview of poverty. Whether it's Major League Baseball, anti-American airlines, the communist NBA, or loudmouth bigots on MSNBS. One thing is clear. The American left-wing hypocrites are neither qualified nor trustworthy enough to be the gatekeepers of what is right and what is wrong. Now, if we're to save our republic, it's time real Americans stop buying what they're selling. It's like getting human rights advice from Xi Jinping. It's like letting your daughter intern for Bill Clinton. It's like asking Joe Biden for advice on how to stop illegal immigration. These people don't have the moral fortitude to govern themselves. What would lead anyone to think they have the capacity to govern someone else? Socialists are the least qualified. They are morally bankrupt, sick and twisted people, the worst on the planet. We need to tune them out and make sure they never have power over us ever again.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, we're real news for real people.